नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्विनयस्तुति। Okay, we will read verse 2, all of us, and then verse 3 I will read. लोके तेना हता लोके लोकपाला हतौजसा न्यवेदयन् विश्वश्रीजे ध्वान्ताव्यतिकरं दिशाम् लोके तेना हता लोके लोकपाला हतौजसः न्यवेदयन् विश्वश्रीजे ध्वान्तव्यतिकरं दिशम् लोके तेना हता लोके लोकपाला हतौजसः न्यवेदयन् विश्वश्रीजे ध्वान्तव्यतिकरं दिशाम्. Okay, I'd like to read the verse.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
लोकतेना हतो लोके लोकोपाला हतो जशः नैवेद्यं विश्वसृजे ध्रुवन्ता भयातिकरं दिशाम्. हरे कृष्ण.
लोकतेना हतौ लोके लोकपाला हतौ जशः न्यवेदयन् विसृजे ध्वान्ताव्यतिकरं दृशम्. हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you can go.
नहीं आपकी बात माता जी प्लीज.
Thank you. लोके तेना हता लोके लोकपाला हतौजसाः न्यावेदयन् विश्वसृजे ध्वान्ताव्यतिकरं दिशाम्. हरे कृष्ण.
हरे कृष्ण. लोके तेना हता लोके लोकपाला हतोजसः न्यावेदयन् वृषसृजे ध्वान्तव्यतिकरं दिशाम्.
लोके तेना हता लोके लोकपाला हतौजसा न्यवेदयन् विश्वसृजे ध्वान्ता व्यतिकरन् दिशाम्.
Hare Krishna. Loke te hata loke loka palahato sajaha yavedayan vishashaje vanta vatikaram disham. Krishna.
Anyone else? Okay, we'll move forward. Synonyms. Loke, within this universe. Tena, by the force of the pregnancy of Diti. Ahata, being a void of. Aloke, light. Lokapalaha, the demigods of various planets. Hata Ojasaha, whose prowess was diminished. Nyavedayan asked. Viswasrize, Brahma. Dhuhanta Vyatikaram, expansion of darkness. Desham, in all directions. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace S. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. By the force of the pregnancy of Diti, the light of the sun and moon was impaired in all the planets, and the demigods of various planets, being disturbed by that force, asked the creator of the universe, Brahma, what is this expansion of darkness in all directions? Purport. It appears from this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam that the sun is the source of light for all the planets in the universe. The modern scientific theory, which states that there are many suns in each universe, is not supported by this verse. It is understood that in each universe there is only one sun which supplies light to all planets. In Bhagavad Gita, the moon is also stated to be one of the stars. There are many stars, and when we see them glittering at night, we can understand that they are reflectors of light. Just as moonlight is a reflection of sunlight, other planets also reflect sunlight, and there are many other planets which cannot be seen by our naked eyes. The demoniac influence of the suns in the womb of Diti expanded darkness throughout the universe. Hare Krishna. Let's move on to verse 3. Deva uchuhu tama etad viho betha samvignaya dvayam hrisham nahyabhyaktam bhagavata kalena sprista vartmanaha. Synonyms. Deva uchuhu, the demigods said, tamaha, darkness, etat, this, vibho, O great one, betha, you know, sambignaha, very anxious, yat, because, vayam, we, vrisam, very much, na, not, he, because, abhyaktam, unmanifest, bhagavataha, of you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, kalena, by time, asprista, untouched, vartmanaha, whose way. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The fortunate demigod said, O great one, just see this darkness, which you know very well, and which is causing us anxieties. Because the influence of time cannot touch you, there is nothing unmanifest before you. Brahma is addressed herein as Vibhu and as the personality of Godhead. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead's incarnation of the mode of passion in the material world. He is non-different in the representative sense from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore the influence of time cannot affect him. The influence of time, which manifests as past, present, and future, cannot touch higher personalities like Brahma and other demigods. Sometimes demigods and great sages who have attained such perfection are called Trikalagya. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण. Thank you everyone again for joining this morning for the Srimad Bhagavatam session. Before I speak anything on these two glorious verses, I would like to take blessings and permissions from all of you, all of the senior devotees here assembled, have joined. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you, Madhavendali. Okay, let's read. I will repeat the translation again. Verse 2. By the force of pregnancy of Diti, the light of the sun and moon was impaired in all the planets, and the demigods of various planets, being disturbed by that force, asked the creator of the universe, Brahma, what is this expansion of darkness in all directions? And then in verse 3, the fortunate demigod said, O great one, just see this darkness, which you know very well, and which is causing us anxieties. Because the influence of time cannot touch you, there is nothing unmanifest before you. Uh, Here we have been following this series. I mean, even the topic says description of the kingdom of God. We're not there yet. We talked about the in chapter 14, after Diti gets pregnant, and then Maitremuni, no, sorry, then Kasyap Muni, you know how he gets mad, and then he tells Diti, like, we did blunder and all those, and but when Diti asks for forgiveness, she realizes that it's a very blunder mistake, and then after that, then Kashyap Muni tells her about, like, even though your sons, the womb now, we're getting the kids now will be demoniac, will cause trouble in the whole universe, but the grandson you're getting is a great devotee of the Lord. And then he goes on describing about how he will be and how he, he'll carry all those qualities and everything. And then that pacifies Diti. At the end verse, she was little happy hearing that her grandson will be a great devotee of the Lord. And then it leads to this chapter where Maitreya Muni is narrating here that after knowing that her sons will be the trouble, that she bears that um, pregnancy, that womb, for 100 years. Right? For us in this age of Kali, we cannot even understand, or we cannot comprehend like how that could be, because pregnancy is not voluntary, it's involuntary, it happens, it's the natural flow. Once you hit month 10 or even before, you'll get you'll start to, you'll get all that urge to push the baby out or something like that, right? But here Diti is holding that womb for 100 years. This also proves that Diti was also not an ordinary woman. She is the wife of Kashyap Muni. Not only that, she is the daughter of Daksha Prajapati, who was empowered by Lord Brahma himself for um, a service, right? And then um, we read about Aditi in different on the other canto about when Bali Maharaj and Lord Bamandev appears, like that she does that Payo Bratamani, but we don't read anything about Diti doing austerities. But it is said that Diti also she used to feed all the living entities like bird, beast, insects, whatever, as a Grihastha dharma, that Kasyapa Muni used to give them the different responsibilities for different wives, different responsibilities like that. And that's how she gets this. Um, it is a Brahmatis. You get when you serve your spiritual master, you get that Brahmatis, or that power or empowerment, the right word. So, and then we see in the I'm sorry, I'm just forgetting, but husbands are also regarded as one of the spiritual master for the wives. And then here, when we are reading here, the light of the sun and moon was impaired. We may ask why. right here. Why did this happen? Darkness never appears without a cause. There is a darkness here. Why it is the expansion of darkness in all directions? The cause traces again back to Diti's conception, right? At in that inauspicious time, that Sandhya time, which was charged with tamasic influence. And then the powerful demoniac souls entering her womb spread that darkness. Even before their birth, they are in the womb only now. They haven't got out yet. This actually shows how one act, that small one act, when performed without the alignment to dharma, can disturb the balance of the whole universe. Just like a small, infection in your body can spread through the whole body. Similarly, this small act of the mode of ignorance can act spread darkness widely. So we see here that the conception at the wrong time had a powerful effect. It disturbed the whole cosmos. And it also shows that the laws of time and purity are not arbitrary. They help us remain in harmony with the Lord's arrangement. But it is also important to remember what there's a famous verse in Padma Purana. Actually, it is quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita and also in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Srila Rupa Goswami. Just talking about the rules and regulations, because if we remember in last chapter in detail, like how when Diti was requesting for the intimate relationship or asking for the fulfillment of her sex desire, Kashyap Muni first says like, this is not auspicious time. We shouldn't be doing this. This is a Sandhya time, all right? But what happens? The desire, the lusty desire overpowers the knowledge, the rules and regulations that to be followed. But I was going to mention that there is a verse in Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and also in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Smartabhyo Satatam Vishnu Vismartabhyo na jatu chit Sarve Pidhi Nisidhasyu Etayor Eva Kinkaraha. Kinkara means the servants, right? The maid servants. So the translation is like the real essence of all these rules and regulations like Muhurta, Vidhi, Niyam, etc. is to help us remember Krishna and not forget him. And this rule of always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna is the master, and all other rules are the servants, Kinkaraha. Right? But here, the danger is not just that she broke a rule of that muhurta, not following that muhurta, but the danger in that moment is she forgot Lord Krishna. She forgot, according to the translation of the verse, Vishnu, Satatam, Smartabhya Satatam Vishnu, Vismartabhya na jatuchit. And that forgetfulness allowed the darkness to spread. Right? And another one, wherever there is sunshine, there cannot be darkness. But as soon as uh, there is light, even in dark room, we turn the light on, the darkness will go away, right? And then another famous verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna Surya Sama Maya Hai Andakar, Jaha Krishna Taha Nahi Maya Radhikar. So whenever, as soon as one takes to Krishna consciousness, the darkness of illusion will immediately vanish. And then here in the third verse, demigods are looking at Brahma with faith and trust. They say, dear Brahma, this darkness is causing us anxiety, but you know very well what it is. And they're saying time cannot touch you. So nothing is hidden from your vision. As we all know, Brahma has this extraordinary vision, not because of his own power, but because of Lord Krishna personally reveals that divine knowledge in his heart. If you remember the very first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, right? Tene Brahma Harida Adi Kavaye. From that moment, Brahma became the instrument of, to bring the light into darkness of the universe. And then we're talking about time also here, which normally covers our understanding, cannot cover Lord Brahma in the same way. He can see clearly past, present, and future. That's why in the purport, last line, Srila Prabhupada also says sometimes the demigods and elevated sages, they are known as Trikalagya. And knowing the position of Brahma, demigods, when they were disturbed, they immediately turned to him for guidance. And actually, this is such a beautiful lesson for us. When we face darkness in our own lives, when things feel uncertain and confusing, we have doubt, we may not see the cause or the outcome. Very confusing. But Krishna and his pure representatives always know. Right? If we take shelter of them, just like the demigods here are taking the shelter of Brahma, we can feel protected, even when we don't have all the answers. Because where there is remembrance of Krishna, light always overcomes darkness. And then we see that demigods, they didn't try to solve the problems on their own. That's the difference between Sura and Asura. I think Mother Vrindavaneshwari went, the first verse he told us about, in detail kind of difference between Suras and Asuras. So Asuras, they try themselves to solve the problem and create more havoc. But what does Suras do? They don't try to solve their confusion or darkness on their own. They will go to, or they went to someone who had received the light from the Lord. And that is exactly what we should do. That's the moral of this verse today, that we should approach the senior or the Guru Sadhu Sastra for any confusion or doubts or any darkness we have. And then if you see this one, the fortunate demigod said, "Oh, great one, just see this darkness, which you know very well." This is like little of coded words here. They say, "which you know very well." Why did they say which you know very well? Any guesses? I hope I'm not making everyone sleep here. Okay.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Because he was born in darkness. He had to meditate in darkness.
Right. Very
Before he
good.
created.
Thank you. Yes. Thanks, David. Yes. The first canto, right? If you remember the history or the creation of Lord Brahma himself, like he was born into the darkness. And we know like he was trying to find what he was supposed to do, and he was climbing down that lotus stem. He couldn't find anything. It was all void, all dark. And then he climbs back to the lotus and starts meditating when he hears that tapa, right? So that's what they are saying here, which you know very well. You have been through this darkness. So now you are experienced. You're Mahajan. Now you help us. Right? So in our practical lives also, the darkness, whenever we distance ourselves from the divine light from Lord Krishna, or the association of devotees, I would say, to be very practical. And so uh, this darkness will cover our intelligence or our um, consciousness. So we, like demigods, we should respond by turning ourselves toward the higher guidance. Um, and Srila Prabhupada also he has given us many references where it says like we have to approach to the experienced ones or to the Guru Sadhu in Sastra for any doubts we have. Um, like there are the verse like in chapter 4 of Bhagavad Gita. What was that? You have to about approaching the bona fide spiritual master. And in Srimad Bhagavatam also, in many places, time and again, Srila Prabhupada always stresses about having the association of devotees and approaching the spiritual master, all those. I mean, the foundation, again, back to our foundation, the ABCDs of the devotional life. We always should be in touch. We always should be covered with these ABCDs to protect ourselves in our bhakti. And then in further verses, we'll see like how demigods are going to pray to Lord Brahma for further guidance and protection. All right? And then will come, and then slowly Lord Brahma is going to explain about the about the beauty or about the Vaikuntha, the kingdom of God, the chapter title said. But the flow of the chapter and the verses always takes us to the end, saying that we should always have the association of the devotees and that we have to have that guidance. Right? What was that? Whenever, um, if you remember that past time where Bharat Maharaj, I was trying to say that, I can't think Hare Bhakti Utpataiva Kalpate. If we try to, sometimes, we feel so distracted, so disturbed. We see all these kind of things going on. Even being in the let's say, like in not ISKCON, I was going to say like even being following the scriptural injunctions, even following this bhakti, then we come to that situation where we have to deal with the unwanted stuff. Like, we feel like, oh, I thought like when we enter into bhakti, we don't have to deal with all these things. We can do just bhakti, and I don't want to deal with all these politics, or I don't want to deal with people kind of thing. I just want to do my bhakti, right? And we try to isolate ourselves from all those situations. But what happens, it ends up like Utpad. Utpad means the example is Bharat Maharaj. Like what he did, he left his whole kingdom, he left all his responsibility, thinking what he's going to dedicate his whole life to do bhakti, right? And then what happens? He goes to the forest by the Gandaki River, little nice hut. He performs sacrifice every single day. remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He does meditation, all those stuff. But what happens? One fine day, a deer comes to his life, and then he gets attached to the deer. And what happens? I mean, in layman term, he falls down from bhakti, right? But since he remembered he did that one-pointed devotion to the Lord, he gets the chance. I mean, he never fell down. It was just he was being an instrument. He was being an example from the in the Lord's play, just to teach us like you shouldn't be going away from the devotees. We always need that association. That's what he learned from that life, the King Bharata's life, and then what he does in the next life when he becomes deer, he tries. He goes around the sadhus, the devotees who are always talking about the Lord and his pastimes. And being in a deer body, he listens to the pastimes, he stays close to them, and he does austerity too by eating the dry leaves, right? And then what happens? He gets another human body where he comes as Jada Bharat. Jada means dumb, deaf and dumb. Like he was not deaf and dumb, but he acts like he was deaf and dumb. And why he did that? Because he didn't want to cause any more trouble to get away from the remembrance of Lord Krishna. And then we'll see further Srimad Bhagavatam. It's coming that he will give a big lesson to King Rahugana, I think. Jadavarta teaches King Rahugana. So that is why I don't know, that is why we have to have that association of devotees, which ultimately actually guides us, protects us from unwanted things, right? Okay, I'll read the translation again and we'll stop here for today. And we'd like to hear from all of you your realization or any more feedback on this. By the force of the pregnancy of Diti, the light of the sun and moon was impaired in all the planets, and the demigods of various planets, being disturbed by that force, asked the creator of the universe, Brahma, what is this expansion of darkness in all directions? The fortunate demigod said, O great one, just see this darkness, which you know very well and which is causing us anxieties, because the influence of time cannot touch you. There is nothing unmanifest before you. Hare Krishna. Okay. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please forgive me if I did not, if I did any mistakes or I took your consciousness away from what it's supposed to be. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I think you just took our consciousness away from things. You said where it should be. Yes, you took it away. It was where it should not be. And so you brought it to a good place. I think just the reminder that Krishna consciousness is light and what is not Krishna consciousness is darkness. And yesterday we heard about Srila Prabhupada and why we need to remember him and why we need to keep him in the center. So between all of those, I think it's a good reminder to always remember Krishna and never forget him. Sometimes I used to think, what does it mean? Always remember, but do not forget. Like, isn't that the same thing? But I think it is, just like you said about Diti, it's, what she did was when she forgot Krishna
Right.
and asked for what she should not have asked, that constant remembering, in everything we do, and not to just, to follow rules without understanding what we are doing is also kind of forgetting, because we are forgetting why we are doing what we are doing.
Correct.
And yesterday there was a lot of discussion about that. If we forget in doing the rituals, if we forget why we are doing it, then it's probably as bad as not uh, doing it also. So thank you very much. I think these are good reminders for a Sunday morning. We're going to get the week started. This is a good way to start the week, to remind ourselves why we are trying to do our sadhana. What is it? What is the purpose? What is the goal? And to make ourselves better. I think the other point that I heard was association.
Right.
And that was also something that we heard yesterday, was that if we find ourselves drifting away, if we find ourselves to be to have if we are having trouble with our devotional service, with our devotional mindset, then a good thing to do is to be in association with people who can help us get back. Just like you said, if your consciousness has gone somewhere, bring it back. And that's what this class does, right? If it's drifting away, you bring it back. So thank you very much for helping us bring back our consciousness to what's important.
Thank you, Madhusudhan. I always wait for your summary of the class. It's a nice summary. I like that point, yes. Srila Prabhupada,
If anybody else has any realizations, David Prabhu?
Oh, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Haraji. I
Right.
was actually, I was actually just reflecting on the fact that, when we're in the darkness and we're groping for some kind of rope or something to hang on to, once we get that, uh, we shouldn't let go. And it's the same kind of thing with, like, always remember and never forget. Once you grab a hold, don't let go. And that's like you can think about that with association of devotees. That's it's the only thing that's going to help you out of your darkness. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for that.
Suman Mataji?
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you very much. Your class, nice class, and it makes me think sometimes that at work we don't have good association,
Right.
and we even don't think about Krishna in a meaningful way. It's just remember, but not remember his instructions. And we meet with a different kind of people, different situations. So I'm always afraid of creating the karmic reaction. I don't want to create how to purify ourselves, and in that situation, keep ourselves purified.
That's how, is that a question or?
Question also.
Yeah, I feel like when you said that, I remember like when you cell phone, even the cell phone example, like you charge your cell phone at night or whatever, and then you take it to work, and then when you come back, you have to recharge it again. You have to plug into the charger, right? So I
Yeah.
think that's how I take it. Like you go to work, yeah, like you said, yes, you forget, and then. Come back, and then what we need to do? We need to connect ourselves again. We have to plug in, read Srimad Bhagavatam, or read any book of Srila Prabhupada, listen to Srila Prabhupada's lecture, or even these classes are recorded. I like to, like, in the morning, it's so rush, hustle bustle, so I can't focus. But you can watch that recording later, and then, bring, like connecting to again.
Yeah.
That's association too. Even Srila Prabhupada's books is the greatest gift we have. That's the association of pure devotees. Srila Prabhupada said, when I'm gone, I'm there in the books, I'm never gone. He said that, right? So he's right there. My Guru Maharaj always says, like, I met Srila Prabhupada. He personally met also, but he says, I met Srila Prabhupada in the pages of Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
So there, right there, we can get connected again, reading pages or so, listening to, or like when you, like I know when you come back at home, you're not free. You're busy with other stuff again. You have to cook, you have to do this, that. But you can play the class, Srila Prabhupada's class, and you're to bring our consciousness back to where it should be.
Yeah, thank you. Very nice. There is one girl in our at work. She after she like she is Muslim, so she prays 5 times. She is supposed to pray. So sometimes I get inspiration from her. She disappears for 5 minutes in between the work and 3-4 times during daytime. So I feel like I should also disappear and think about some slokas or some kind of something so that
That's
I remember.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I get inspiration from her. So that's what I wanted to know. What you want to, what do you think? But that's it. Yeah, we have to recharge ourselves very nicely so that in the first place we don't get affected there also. If we are fully charged, we'll not be affected also. Yeah. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, very nice class. And Soba Mataji also said very nicely. We should always remember Krishna and do the in a meaningful way, really do something. Yeah. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for your realization. That was nice, Mataji. I guess you can also disappear and chant one round.
Yeah. Good idea.
A nice class. It's smiling. It's a nice class. Thank you very much. Sometimes this Kali Yuga, it's running life. I don't know. That makes me. What is this? How can we just spare some time? The life is like that in this Kali Yuga, morning till evening. If person doesn't run and work and pack something to square meals in the house, it's very hard. But that we need to, like you said, and like Mataji said, that lady, she 5 minutes she goes away, disappears, and then does. We should do that. But for us, we didn't start that, But they do wherever they are. They do the namas. That is a very very important thing they do. We should learn from them. Yeah, when I used to work in the morning, I used to say, running here and there, cooking and putting everything ready for my husband in the house. Then I used to say, Krishna, if you want to come and bless me now, please come in the evening. I will sit peacefully and I will listen to you, Krishna. I used to tell God and I used to pray there and then go to work. I used to do that. That was really silly thing, but I used to tell him and do the diya and then everything at the deity. But it was rushingly I used to do that. Not reading Bhagavad Gita or anything at that time.
Yeah.
Because we had to be at work by 8 o'clock we had to be at work. So I used to joke myself please Krishna, come in the evening, I'll sit peacefully with you. But that's not the thing. We should spare some time.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mataji.
David Prabhu, I think your hand was raised.
Yes, Hare Krishna, Mataji. Also, I just had another kind of thought and reflection that Krishna gives us two basic ways to interact with him, either with shelter or with service. And like a lot of times during the day, we need his help. Please help me get through this. And then when our difficulties are dissolved or put aside, we have our own time to do what we want, then we can approach him through service. So that's another way to always remember and never forget Krishna.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. That was also when Mother Vindhyavali was speaking. I was just remembering, in the introduction of Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada, actually that translation, not that introduction to Bhagavad Gita, that this is few pages long, right? It's so nice. It's like kind of summary of Bhagavad Gita. And that Srila Prabhupada says, like, how we should be doing our bhakti. I know it's the summary from all of his books also, that we should be doing our bhakti like the wife who has the extramarital affair, that she does so perfect at her house that her husband, her in-laws, nobody will suspect that she has a boyfriend outside. But what she does is, like, she does all the household chores so nicely that nobody even doubts her. But in her heart, she longs to see her boyfriend, right? She does it so perfectly that no one suspects that she has someone outside, kind of. So that should be our bhakti, that we do our work. It shouldn't be like just nicely, but longing for that, for the remembrance of, for the longing for the remembrance of the Lord, or association of the devotees, all this stuff. Thank you so much,
Very nice discussions. Thank you.
Mother.
All right, let us get a nice Krishna conscious week started. Thank you very much again, Mother Syamagori. And we'll see everybody at the Sunday feast tonight and then again tomorrow morning.
Hare Krishna.
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.